Thank you, everyone, for coming. And I say one. Oh, there's three of you here. Isn't that nice? It's me, Alex, and we're doing live streams now. I'm going to try to do these every Friday. Call it Friday lunch break, right? Kind of catchy. Give you guys a break from your, jobs I'm sure that you love so much. But also, as a way, I just love doing. I used to do a bunch of live streaming when pandemic first started, and I loved it. I was doing gaming back then, if you can believe it. Today, we're going to talk about the best strats under $1,000 because I did that Telecaster video. Everyone seemed to like it. Everyone wanted to know more about other guitars under $1,000. And it's funny to me because it's like, well, you could search if you want, but I think it's a lot more fun to have someone else search on your behalf, right? Like that's like the funny thing about live streaming. It's like, hey, you do that thing, not me. You do it. I'm like, okay, that's fine, and I will do it. Watch me. That intro video or a little intro jam I was doing. I had it on. I was using the Woodrow right there. And that's it. Just Woodrow with a lot of room sound, almost full way up. And it's taken me a long time to actually enjoy that pedal. When I first got the Dream, the Universal Audio Dream, loved it right out of the gate. I'm like, that's a great pedal. First got the Ruby. I was like, oh, this one's great. It's got it sounds like a Vox. But for some reason with this one, I'm like, and this is, I'll make a separate video about it. But the Woodrow is like not what you would expect out of. It's not what you would expect. Like I've played a Tweed Deluxe. It's awesome. It's an amazing guitar, and I think that's really hard to capture. Like being in the room with like a cranked Tweed Deluxe, and I think that's why you don't see any videos on it. You don't see any it's on two people's boards total. I've seen like 2 photos. So. But I'm determined to find out, like, okay, I got to figure out a way to use this pedal to enjoy it. I got to find out, like, every last bit of tone, I got to find it. And I'm slowly getting there. I think one of the big problems I have with it, we're going to move to Strats in 1 second, but one of the big problems I have with the pedal is I don't love these speaker simulations. And everyone's going to get on my case, Alex, don't you get it? They, like, modeled speakers. It's the best in the market. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like, I know they worked really hard, and I'm happy for them that they did that. But, like, there's something about the break, the speaker cry, the cone breakup, whatever they're modeling. It's this weird. Here, you can hear it. Do you hear that high pitched noise? You hear there's a little like a crackle there. Like kind of distracting, and it's also all these speaker simulations are incredibly bass heavy, so it's just been something that I've been getting used to. But don't worry, I'll find a way to love it, as I love all pedals. I mean, it's funny because, like, if you say you don't like a pedal online, everyone's on your case, like you're probably not using it right. But then if you say you do like a pedal, they're like, oh, it seems like you like everything, why don't you just work for them? I'm like, wait, listen guys, I'm allowed to like things, okay? And I'm allowed to dislike things. And right now, I am ambivalent on the Woodrow. There's some awesome tones in there, but it's been hard for me to get to it. And I'm not like a dumb guy. Well, maybe I am a dumb guy. But I feel like I should be able to figure it. It should be easier to get tones out of the Woodrow. And I think that's why you don't see any videos on it. Now, let's talk about Strats. I'm playing a PRS Silver Sky SE that I picked up recently, and I love it. It is a insanely good guitar. It is a great value for what it is, and it made the list, of course, of the list we're about to go down. But I'm going to put this down so we can scroll the internet together effectively. Now, where am I going here? Oh, Stephen. Hello. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you watching it. I'm just shocked that anyone watches anything. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, my friend. Let's look at some Strats, yeah? Here we go. And now I'm in the corner. Isn't that nice? Okay, so we're going to talk about, well, a lot of things. But we're going to go through, like, what are the best values for Strats and, like, what under $1,000, because I feel like once you go over $1,000 when you're buying a guitar, it's almost like you should spend like $1,800, or at least the way the price breaks work right now in the guitar market. So I feel like under $1,000, it almost all comes from the same quality category, right? And like once you hit $1,700, and like but like $1,000 to $1,700, like there's nothing really in there. There's no like $1,200 guitars really. It's really only like $1,500, $1,700. That's when you start seeing guitars again. Like there's, so that's why like there's like these weird pricing categories that all the industry has like kind of like fit itself into. That's why I'm sticking under $1,000, because usually the best value guitar you can get. And then everything after that is just like exciting to spend money. Coop, my guy, how have you been, dude? I've been seeing your IG posts. Obviously, I've been commenting. I hope you've been well, man. So let's take a gander, shall we? So we're going to start off. We're going to go in, order of pricing. Sorry, I'm blocking this, aren't I? There we go. Squire Classic Vibe, 50s Stratocaster. Ooh, what a beautiful looking guitar. Now, like, this is a great guitar, and the Squire Classic Vibes, like, I've played them. They feel really good. I am shocked because growing up, right? I'm old. I'm not really old, but I am old. Growing up, you didn't touch Squires. It was just like they felt terrible. They were horrible. The electronics were terrible. You just didn't want them in your hands. Something happened where the Classic Vibe brand, whatever factory that's coming out of, whether that's Court or something else, they're so good. Again, if Squire Classic Vibe is good enough for Chris Buck, like the guitarist of the year, then it's good enough for us. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't need probably, like the frets need to be dressed. It probably needs a good setup. And you probably need to maybe do some other thing, maybe file the nut down, right? But once you get past that like $150 of like maintenance on it, it's like a good guitar. Okay. Most of them, not the Squire Classic Vibe Jazzmaster. I did not like that. That was not a good guitar. But I have tried this. $429. These are back ordered, but you can find them on other websites. We're in Sweetwater right now. So let's just take a look at what makes a Strat a Strat. Why does this qualify as a Strat? Like, absolutely, one, it's licensed by Fender to Squire, but it's got 3 single coil pickups, which is good. That's what you want. It has individual adjustable saddles. Seems fine. 5-way pickup selector, tone, volume, tone. That's what you want. Now with this, it's got a C-shaped neck. I mean, again, like, I saw this clip about John Mayer talking about radiuses, and he was saying like radiuses come after the fact, not before the fact. Like, you pick up a guitar, you go, this feels good. What radius is it? And then you find out, oh, I guess I like 7.5, or I like 9, or whatever. He's like, no one can feel it when they're picking up a guitar. They can feel they can be off, or it's not what they would normally like, but no one can tell the difference in a radius when they're holding it. And if he's saying that, a guy who has a guitar in his hand like nonstop, it's like, okay, maybe he's right about that. So the only way to really know if you like a neck and if you like the radius is to hold it in your hand. And that's unfortunate when you want a guitar that you've never picked up before. Sometimes you just got to roll the dice. And I've done that many times, and it's almost never worked out for me. That's not true. It's worked out for me sometimes, but not all the time. It does look like a good one, right? For $429. I mean, like, you can add Lawler pickups to this, right? So then you can get, I mean, if you don't want to go that expensive, that would be like another $270. Or you can like just go to like what's like another cheaper one. I mean, you can find used single coil pickups. Again, like, this is like, I think, a great, if you just want your first starter guitar, this is a great starter guitar. It's $429, and like, you can find these. Go on a Reverb, right? Heart a guitar, and they'll probably give you a 10% or 15% off just for like hearting it. They're like, hey, if you want it right now, we'll give it to you. Body material's pine. Like, I'm sure that's fine. Like, I don't know if I can tell the difference between alder and pine. I think like there'd be a bigger difference with the amp you're using or your playing style. But this is good. This is a good start. Okay, so That's in cheapest place. Now you go up market a little bit, and now you got this. Look at this guy. Get me out of here. I'm in the way. Look at this beautiful guitar. 40th anniversary edition. You can find these on Reverb as well. Some of these reviews, they don't like it, so you'll have to take it with a grain of salt. But I think going a little bit higher, you get gold hardware, you get rectangle inlays, very cool, very unique. And I think sometimes you want something unique. You don't want to look like everyone else in the world that's playing a Strat, which is like probably the most played guitar in the world, right? I would bet that it's a Strat over anything else. Same things here, though. You'd probably want to upgrade the pickups. You probably want to dress the frets. Is this a bound neck? Okay, so it's a bound neck in plastic. And sometimes that doesn't look great in person. So you'd have to, again, and if it's that's a retro headstock, like a 70s headstock, right? Yeah, definitely. That's a massive headstock. So if that's not your style, that's fine. But if you want something a little off the beaten path, I think that's a good choice. And if you don't like it, you can just return it. That's what I do. Ooh, now we're at GNL Tribute. I have a GNL Legacy that I love. And I switched out the pickups. It was a Legacy special. And I switched out the pickups. I switched out everything on it. But it's like it was a sick guitar, and it's still a great guitar. Like one of the most comfortable guitars. Not the most right now, but one of. Okay, back to this. Now, that's not what I meant to press. Okay, there we go. I got Stream Elements tweeting out things that are incorrect. Disregard Stream Elements right now. Oh, you're doing car shopping, Coop? What are you looking for? What are you getting? And also, I don't buy guitars very often. This PRS is the first guitar I've bought in over like 3 years. So I just don't. I have what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 guitars right now. I got one on the way. I pre-ordered the PRS SE DGT, so 9. But I think that's it for a while. Like I just don't need that many. Like if I was doing more guitar work, I would buy a lot more. But like right now, this is totally way more than enough than for what I'm doing right now. Corolla Cross, nice. Super Detailed Studios. Yeah, it's funny when you're buying stuff online because it's like you want to be thorough, but you also don't want to get dragged down into like the muck, into the mud. And so like GNL Tribute, these are definitely made in the Court Factory, and these are definitely great guitars. And a lot of them come with USA pickups, which is so crazy. I'm not sure if this one does. Does it? No, these are Court pickups, but those are still really good pickups. A lot of people actually even put Court pickups in their Player Series Strats. So I think this is an insane deal, and the GNL Tribute is going to be better than the Squire Classic 5, not because it's $100 more, but just like the Court Factory crushes it on the GNL Tributes. They are so good. Now, there's one difference about GNL is that the tone system is a passive, or it's an active tone system. So it's not here we go. In a traditional wiring setup, this is the tone for neck and middle, and then this is the tone for the bridge. But on a GNL, this is treble and this is bass, and it's a master tone across all three. So you can roll off tone, roll off treble. It's like a high cut and a low cut. So that can be kind of cool. Like you can be more precise for sure. But at the same time, if you like to have like your bridge, like for example, like, so if you like to have your bridge like really, right, like way too bright. So you want the bridge like, but you want your neck to have some more sheen and sparkle. You can do that on a Strat, but you can't do that on a GNL because it's just gonna be it's a universal tone. circuit across all. Now you can also just take it to your luthier or your guitar tech and be like, hey, change this to a normal thing, and it would also be fine. I think you'd have to change out some of the pots, but I think it'd be fine. And for GNL tributes, you probably don't have to do crazy fret dressing. You probably don't have to like clean up the nut. It's probably fine. Okay. Now, Sire, Larry Carlton. I've never played a Sire, but everyone talks up and down how much they love their Sire. Alex, you got to try a Sire. I've never tried a Sire. I want to. I yearn to. I long to, but I am not. Yeah, I haven't yet. Oh, you can demo model 576. That is a deal. That is a screaming deal if I've ever seen one. So Sire is also, and I think that maybe they have their own factory, but beautiful looking guitars. Obviously, Larry Carlton, a legendary guitarist. So if he found it was good enough for his name on it, then it's probably good enough for most of us. It's got a 2-post bridge, which makes it really, you'll either see six post or 2-post on the guitar bridge. 2-post usually stays in tune more often, usually, and it's a little bit easier to adjust bridge height on that as well. But look, I mean, this looks so much cleaner. Like, let's go back to the Squire Classic Vibe bridge. Look at that thing. That thing does not look. That doesn't look as cool and as clean as that. That looks slick, right? That looks like there's no sharp parts on it. Yeah, that looks really good. Like, you can tell what the difference is. Like 641, like what's the difference? But you zoom in, you're like, oh, I can really tell that. You can there's an obvious quality difference there. Okay. And again, if you want to play something different, which I think is important as a musician, you should be trying to be unique if you can. Moving on. Going up a little price is the GNL Tribute Comanche. So now technically not like a Strat, but the Comanche is one of the cool, these Z pickups that Leo Fender came up with are so cool. And again, if you guys don't know, GNL was started by Leo Fender after he started Music Man, which was after he started Fender. So GNL was George and Leo, George Fullerton, Leo Fender, GNL. He designed these Z coil pickups to be noiseless single coils. And just the way that they're designed, like they cancel hum, and they're super, super clear. If you can get your hands on one just to play them. Oh, these are the American ones. GNL Z coil. So you're getting American pickups, $6.99, and obviously it's not for sale on Sweetwater. But oh my God, that is that's the one. That's the one I'd buy right now. 1, no one has it, so that's cool. You look different. 2, American pickups in a GNL tribute. Come on, like. I need a sound effect bay, right? I don't know. Let's see. Moving up. The Silver Sky. Now I'm biased because I have one. It's an insanely good guitar. I have been playing PRS guitars for like 15 years. How old am I? Yeah, 15 years. And they're great. And I think Paul Reed Smith is hilarious. He cracks me up. Some people are like, oh, he's so rude. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. He's like rude to like guitar journalists. I'm like, who cares? But the whole point is like, he's got an opinion, and he's like one of the last, right? He was homeboys with Ted McCarty. Like, his name is on the headstock of the guitars, of the very unique guitars that he built. There's no one alive like that right now. I think he's like the last guitar visionary that we have, and that we might have for a long time. So I love the company as it is, but then also their products are really good. This Silver Sky SE is what changed my mind about the SE line. The SEs, when I first tried a Custom 24 SE, like when was that? Like 7 years ago, and I didn't like it. It didn't sound good, didn't feel good, and I had my Core 24 at the time. But this is the guitar that changed my mind about the SE line. The pickups, I'll compare it against my Lawlers. Like, you'll be shocked. They sound great. The pickups are great. The feel is great. I mean, PRS necks, they're great. The bridge is awesome. It's a 2-post bridge instead of the 6-post bridge on the Core line. It's a great guitar, and I'm biased, but because I have it, I'm trying to rationalize my purchase. But that doesn't mean that I'm wrong, right? Moving on. Anyway, I endorse it. Although this one and the green, where's the other color? There's this color, stone blue. That's good. The green is like, when you see, here, we'll go to the stone blue here, just so you can see. Stone blue is beautiful color. It's actually a lot less saturated than this in color and a little bit darker. But the green one is, and the dragon fruit. I wonder if they'll do a sunburst on these. I know like they're trying to come up with like new vibes, but like I wonder if they do any kind of sunburst on the SE line for like season 2 or whatever they would call it. But this green is much closer to a Kelly green in person. So think like St. Patrick's Day green. Like that is how green it is in person. And I thought I wanted green because I was like, oh man, that's cool. It looks like almost like a blue green. No, just a normal green, like traffic light green. And I was like, no, it's not what I want. Like it's closer to this button. Okay, when you click, like before you click on it, like it's closer to that green. So a little disappointing. Oh, you're not playing, Coop? You got to just try, right? It's just like maybe 10 minutes a night. Here's an easy way for everyone also. So Coop mentioned he has 2 guitars in chat. He mentioned he has 2 guitars that he doesn't use very often. And here's the biggest reason that you're not playing your guitar. And not you personally. I'm not trying to attack you, Coop, but I mean you, the general you, right? It's not out. You got to have it next year. Like the best way I wanted to start playing guitar again, I put my guitar stand next to my bed and I put it there. So when I woke up, I'm like, oh, guitar, right on. Right? And then I put it down and then I started playing. And then when you went to bed and you go to bed at night, you're like, oh, cool, guitar's in here. That's cool. And then or if you're like even less risk averse, you can just leave the guitar like next to your desk and you'll just play it. Like you're waiting for a video to upload. You're waiting for like some sort of like, thing to download or whatever it is. Guitar time, right? So that to me is like a really good way and a cheap way to get yourself to play instead of like using like any like inspiration timers or like all this other stuff that we have to use to like make sure that we do the things we love. Okay, now we're into actual Fender territory. The same price as a PRS Silver Sky SE. The Fender Players Strat, made in Mexico, their Mexico factory, their Cordoba factory, which has been making them for, 55 years now, right? Maybe less, maybe 45 years. Long time, though. They've been doing it for a long time. That's what you need to know. Vintage vibe, modern edge. Like, I don't know. I mean, like, modern. It's not modern. It's like, the Strat is like classic guitar. There's nothing really modern about it, I don't think. Maybe the pickups are more modern. Timeless classic. That's just marketing speak. Again, you got to get through all this marketing speak. But it has a roasted maple neck. Like finally Fender got on a bandwagon where everyone's like, love a roasted maple. Let's take a roasted maple. And they're like, yeah, we'll wait. They finally are making it stock. And this one's in stock right now as well. So 9.5-inch radius, which is really nice. It's right in the middle there. I have 10 I have 10 to 16 on a lot of mine, like a compound radius, but 9.5 is totally fine too. But this is like the coolest looking Fender player I've seen in a while. I'm like, wow, it's a really interesting seafoam green color. And it's got a roasted maple neck. I think it's a really cool combo. Like, look at that. They did a good job. Good for them. Let's look at this bridge too. So 2-post bridge on this, which is new, and this looks a lot better than that Squire. So we're talking like $400 more bucks, and you have like a pretty legit Strat. Like there's nothing you'd need to do to this, and there's nothing you need to do to the PRS Silver Sky. Like maybe if you get a bad one that had like bad humidity, you might have to touch up the fret edges a little bit, but that's probably it. Maybe the nut. They've been pretty good about nuts lately from what I've played, but you never know. And then the most expensive, the new kid on the block, the Nick Johnston Traditional. I mean, I love Schecter guitars. I have a Schecter PT Van Nuys back there. I don't need to show you. Just take my word for it. Hold on, I'm going to make the light a little bit brighter. Need to burn a hole in my retina for you guys. So what I like about the Nick Johnston guitars is that they have like just subtle differences that make it feel like everyone will know, like, whoa, that's not a Strat. I mean, obviously the headstock, ebony fretboard, brass inlays, which are kind of hard to see in the dark. So if you're playing like at a dark venue or your room is dark, like, you know, you're gonna have to use your eagle eyes to get that little bit different shape, right? That's like that's a pretty modern looking shape, right? That carve is definitely a lot deeper, and I think the heel, the bottom of the bottom of the guitar, that looks a lot lower. So it's like it got a very much more aggressive look to it, which I think is cool. Pink is also very cool, shell pink. You know, they came out with that Tyler Bryant shell pink Strat, HSS Strat. That was cool too. 5-way pickup, and this also comes in HSS too, but HSS is a whole separate thing that we don't have to get into. But the radius is 14 inches, so like pretty flat guitar, okay? Whereas like 7.5 is the John Mayer. So we're right. Is this 7.5 or 9.5? 14, is that right? Mine's 10 to 16. Yeah, maybe it is 14. Wow. So that to me is you got to touch one before you try. And it also 2 knobs. That's another huge difference it has. So master tone, master volume. So you're not, doing any bridge to neck switching kind of stuff, right? But that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I think are the best if you're buying new. Now, if you're buying used, well, there's a couple things we got to look at used. But first we'll go to reverb. Fender American Professional. Like, okay, like I really want an American built Strat. What am I going to walk away with? 1240, free shipping, maple fretboard, 2020, excellent condition. Like, you're not going to find a better deal than this guitar if you want an American Strat, right? At least this is a pretty good deal. So what do they have to say about it? Who's selling this? Harry's Gear Outlet in Lakewood, New Jersey. They have anything to say about it in their notes section? No notes, just excellent condition. Sometimes they say like small ding. Oh, here, no. Yeah, nothing. So that's hopefully you like it kind of thing. You'd have to talk to the seller, message them. It's like, hey, my name is interested buyer. I'd like to find out more about X, Y, and Z. Has it been cared for? Like, are the electronics fine? Does it crackle at all when you switch? What's the jack looking like? That's a pretty good deal. And then if you go to GNL, you can find, so this one I found, a 2017 for $998 and 125 shipping. So what is that? 1,023. Okay, so that's still 1123 local pickup. Yeah, so this is still the cheapest. This one's 170 shipping. What? So if you go here, I know, very very shiny pickguard. So if you're a flashy guy, this is the move. Oh, and he's got the silver knobs too on it. I wonder if those are stock. But what is it? Great condition, plays like a dream. Need the money. So that's so. Not a man of few words in Jacob's gear outlet, but I'm sure you can reach out to this guy. Sounds like a reasonable guy. Find out what's up with this guitar. How long have you had it? Are you the original owner? Anything I should know? How's the truss rod? Hopefully he is honest and forthright with you. Now, another place I've found crazy deals is Zounds. Let's humor ourselves, shall we? Zounds. What was I looking at before on Zounds? So Zounds has like crazy B stock stuff. So a lot of times retail companies, when they can't move units, they'll scuff it themselves. And then I'm not saying this is what Zounds is doing, okay? Like, Zounds is probably not doing this, but you know what? I shouldn't say anymore. I'm not going to say anything else. But let's look at, where's their deals section? They have a deals. We're looking for deals live online. This is entertainment in 2023. See, the entertainment part comes from me. I have to make this exciting. We're looking for a deal. Category clearance. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. DE electric guitars, 267 on clearance. That is crazy. Okay. See all, please, and we'll sort by price. But this 721 blemished. Guys, someone get on this. Dragon fruit or not, a blemished. Blemish usually, it's probably just like scuff somewhere. Like, you'd have to find out from them. Give them a ring. Who's their sales rep? See, they got to have a sales rep here. Have a guy's number in his face. Call him. Call me. I'll figure it out for you. You know, that's the vibe you want. Right? Okay. Sort from low to high. That is, again, another screaming deal. Michael Kelly guitars. I thought Michael Kelly were like really fancy, nice guitars. Is this down? This is lower market stuff, I guess. Sterling. Oh, Cutlass HHS for $466. Man, that's another great deal. So you can go. This is a hidden gem if you're looking for guitars. Zounds clearance. They have like just crazy. They just like giving stuff away. I don't know why, because there must be just something wrong with the product. Someone bumped it. Someone returned it. It fell down as they were leaning it against their couch. I've done that. Yeah, so there's that PRS. Is there any more Strats? So we're getting pretty high up there. We're at $800, almost $800. Here's a Schecter Nick Johnston for $764. That's $150 off. That's a deal. Here's an HSS one for $764. See, interesting that they're both $764. I wonder if they're both returns. That's the last one. They got more than one here, though. Guys, someone buy this. Otherwise, I'm going to buy it. Fender Player HSS with a Floyd Rose, $829. Okay. $849. See, and this is where like the weird no man's land, where it's like once you hit $1,000, there's just no $1,000 guitars. There's $1,700 guitars. 934, getting up there, running out of room. Ooh, Fender Player Plus Nashville Telly. I think they're normally $1,100, so that's another good deal. Okay, so you get the point. Ooh, Charvel Pro Mod. Actually, I thought that was how much they were cost anyway. Oh well. Okay, so you get the point. There are a lot of good deals to be had if one was enterprising in their efforts. For my money, the Silver Sky or the Nick Johnston, I think those are just excellent. They're going to be excellent guitars. Nick Johnston is going to be really more modern feeling and sounding. The PRS is definitely like, it's kind of right down the middle. Doesn't have a vintage radius, 9.5. And then, but if you're looking to save some dough, like the 50s classic vibe Squire, that, get some new pickups on it, fix up the frets, like, and you're golden. Like, you should be in a really good spot. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to do quick guitar lessons. And I'm going to do guitar lessons every Friday lunch break. So a lot of times when I'm playing, and so right now, just for anyone who's looking, going through just the Woodrow. just the Woodrow on the Bassman IR. So a lot of times when I'm playing, I think it's really important. Let me start over. When I started to play, the fretboard was very intimidating to me, and like I didn't know what to play outside of the chord that was like in the book, right? And I never took formal lessons, so I didn't have someone to ask. And I was actually too scared to take formal lessons. I'm like, they're gonna find out that I stink, and they're not gonna teach me. Obviously, not true. Teachers want kids that don't know anything so they can teach them something. But in my mind, I was like, I don't know. And it wasn't until I saw like John Mayer play live I didn't see him play live. I heard him play live. I was like, wait, what? What's he doing? And then I saw a video of him playing Lenny from that Any Given Thursday DVD. I was like, what? And it made me realize, like, okay, like I need to start getting better at like writing and arranging, or writing and building cool chords with my left hand. And let's just start off in the key of G, right? Let's get a little bit closer, yeah. So we're in the key of G here, right? And we're gonna walk up the scale to D, okay? To G, A, B, C, D. Right. And now we're gonna add chords to that, right? Now, and that's fine, right? Like, okay, like, so you can play triads, right? These are triads. 1, 5, 3. And that's fine. And I did a video on that, like, using triads. But, like, the step after that is using melodic lines within those chords. So... thumb to anchor, and build on top of it. And I think that's where, once I started to realize, like, it was like the cheap way to figure out where the notes were, because, like, we're only using the major scale, right? Oops. What's the major scale? Right, so we're only using 7 notes. You know, there's only one sharp, right? F sharp. So you're just finding the other notes in the G major scale. And once you start just practicing, again, like, you don't have to even practice this to metronome. Just start going up the scale and then down the scale, and start playing at whatever pace you need to, but start finding all the notes. The way I like to do it is first is just come up with a simple melody. Just focus on one note that's moving, right? The only note that was doing or the only string that was doing a lot of work was the G string. Everything else was... Okay. Now we add the G string. Now let's add the B string to that, okay? I think that's it. Just like you can only focus on the B and the G to start, right? And then you'll start to see what shapes are being unveiled to you because you're playing within the modes of G, right? So on G here, obviously A minor is the next in the scale, right? B minor or B under a G, right? G over B. Either work. Then C, D, back to G. And so an A minor, if you're playing a G major scale and over an A minor, whoops. You start to learn all of the shapes, right? And then you can start messing with the bottom three strings as well. So once you start doing it in G, obviously it can just be transferred to any key you want. That's the great thing about guitar. If you learn it in one key, it's actually you're learning it in all keys because you just take whatever that pattern is and move it wherever you need. Now, if you want to make it even easier, let's say, Alex, that's a little bit too hard for me. I hear you. I hear you, my friend. So we're going to go to A then. So we're just going to work on A. An A major scale, and we're going to play the A string open every single time, okay? And we're only going to work on... We'll do that closer so you can see what we're doing here. Right? That's an E shape. Triad, right? Another minor triad, and then a major triad. And I feel like I don't want to tell you like the frets, okay? Like I think a really important part of becoming a musician is being able to use your ear and hear major, minor. All right, and I have some other videos on that too if you want to look. But like, if you want to get better at guitar, you have to stop using your eyes for the music. You have to start using your ears, and you got to start training your ears. So a great way to do that is to watch something and try to transcribe it by ear, right? I mean, that's what we had to do back in the day. And I started on jazz trumpet, and that's what you would do. You would just listen, and you try to play along, and you listen again, try to play along. Now, the only problem with you doing with an A like this is that you're not actually understanding the modes, which is why I think doing on G is helpful, because you have to find out what is the root of the mode that I'm playing. And you don't even have to think about modes. Again, like all these words that we use in like music theory, they're not, they're just the words that we use to like categorize sounds, right? If it sounds good, it sounds good. Okay, and more people agree on if the more people that something agrees sounds good, the more likely that's going to be taken as like, something that's real, right? Before Charlie Parker, like the bebop scale, altered dominant kind of stuff, like that was not used very often, right? But like a great player makes certain things common, and so don't be freaked out if you don't know like the words of things. But be freaked out if you don't know what the sound is. Like, oh, what is that sound? I don't even know what that is. But that's why we're going to start with the simple stuff, just like this. let's try that again, and I'll build a loop to show you kind of like what we're doing here. So using a looper too can be a lot of fun to help train yourself, because boring training and boring practicing will bum you out. But if you can make it interesting for yourself and helps you with your arranging skills and your writing skills, I think that's a win-win. But again, the whole point of this, the only reason we're doing this kind of stuff is because learning your fretboard is difficult if you don't have an anchor for it, right? You're just like learning random scales without like, well, what am I playing? Like, is there a song that I'm playing? Like, I think it's really, especially when you're first starting off, like you need to have like something contextual. You need to have an anchor. Like, why would you care about like whether something is Mixolydian or Dorian or whatever? Like, it doesn't actually click. It doesn't make sense. What makes more sense is like learning how to play what sounds right when you're stuck on a fretboard. Let's say you're like playing a solo and then you get stuck over the C, the 4 chord of G, and you're like, oh, now what? Like, I don't know the notes to play, and then you got to go like back to G, when really you should be like, you can find a way down, find a way up. And like once you unlock the fretboard, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. This is how I did it, and it worked out pretty good for me. But if you find another way to do it, do it. Whatever you find like that makes the fretboard not intimidate you is the way to go. Because once it opens up, then it just, instead of saying like, instead of it being like a warning and like an emergency light, it starts saying like, come here, come here. It starts asking you to like try to play in different places, right? Okay, one more thing. How long have we been going here? Oh, almost an hour. Okay, I got to wrap this up. One quick thing. This guitar middle pickup is really good, and I'm going to end on a jam on that. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to do this every week. If you guys have any questions, I'll answer them live. We can talk about tone stuff. We can talk about whatever you guys want. But I'll bring a topic to talk about too. I'm not just a taker, I'm a giver as well. Okay. Yeah, let's do something like this. We'll build it like this. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Have a great weekend.